Hello everyone, my name's Mumbles. Today I was going to try and do a live commentary of ToA. I'll do it in, I'm probably going to try and record it in 5 parts because my recording stopped working last time I tried this after 15 minutes, so I have to break it up. Here are the invos. Hardcore, jog for it, which is 35 minutes. No help, which is a consistency invo. Walk the path, which gives free 50 points but doesn't really slow us down. And then we're just keeping stuff like overlords and boulder dash off, just to keep the raid nice and quick. I normally have a minute or two to spare with these invos. Yeah, this is the gear I'm wearing. And the inventory is pretty self-explanatory. I do 3 down at Wardens with the rapier. I would like to upgrade to a T-bow at some point, but the shadow does most of the work here anyway. Alright, that's pretty cool. If this is something you'd be interested in seeing more of, please let me know, because I will put more effort into making these in the future. And maybe get some better quality microphone involved. And maybe some editing instead of just raw footage uploaded. I do use the rapier at Baba, well, in the puzzle room, just because it's that one tick quicker. I'm going to head over to the east side of the room, drop 3 potions and grab the hammers, and then just get to work. And try and deal with whichever ad spawns closest. It is nice to do the shaman first because of the attack speed on the shadow. Like I say, this isn't something I've done before, so I'm expecting to find it a little harder to talk whilst playing. I do try and destroy the melee monkeys with the volatile baboons. But it's not always possible. Switch back to my melee gear. I know some people, including myself, I used to be GS spec Baba, but I found that it hits a lot of zeros, so I now tend to Void Waker with a Surge pot. I find it helps us get a little bit more damage. And we can death charge off the smaller monkeys. When they finally spawn. It's nice to drag Baba down to the bottom of the room if possible, just for the boulder skip. I really like the changes to this boss now. The fact that it's 0 damage is very nice. Get the boffer out. Try and avoid the bananas. And And again, drag him back down. Or her, I can't remember if Bella is male or female. Not too close to gap, so I'm not too worried there. There's my phone. Didn't press it. Okay. Should be pretty easy to kill her now without drinking another dose. So the carefree puzzles, unfortunately no plugins. The only one I really struggle with is the lightbox. Nice easy layout there. And I got the light puzzle. I did hear that you can simply run around the edge and it will eventually solve it, but I don't want to waste too much time in here because of the 35-minute timer that I have, so I'm just going to flip this, take the damage. Can always heal off Jeffrey's eggs with the Ferris. I like to turn over 3 tiles, so W, diamond, star, and try and remember. So W, diamond, star. So we've got a boot and knives. Now, I have tried recording Kefri in the past, and it makes my phone lag like crazy, so see how this goes. The surge part is almost finished on its cooldown. I'm just going to super combat and just get as many void wake specs off as possible in this fight. This is unbelievably slow. Just hit this once, and then swap to the blowpipe. This is where my phone really tanks. In solos it's not too bad, but whilst recording it is awful. And in team modes this room is just, my phone goes down to like 10 frames. It's terrible. I'm looking to upgrade in the future, which would be nice. The range is taking forever to die for some reason. shadow this guy down. And then blow out the swarms. And back to the shadow for the soldier. Kill one of those. A little healing. Try not to get hit by an egg. Take the extra hit over the blood dung vial, to be honest. Should have phased it. Nice. Around to that sand view. And try not to drink another dose here. Should be fairly straightforward. Fang spec, finish it off. Okay. Now the route I take is always the same, which is quite nice in this instance because it means I don't have a level 3 Akka, but I always go Zebak here to try and make the salts last a bit longer. I normally have a potion left over, so that's going to throw me a little. Always hold the waterfall here because you just path straight through this west side, northwest side. Sometimes you get hit, sometimes you don't, and it's same on the way back. Nice and easy. One thing I always like to do is orient my camera on the cardinal directions as well. I feel like it just makes playing a little bit more easier because everything travels in those directions. So. And then a BGS spec here. Get a thrall out, and then Voidwaker spec. You have to forgive the slow movement. This is incredibly laggy whilst recording. Now, I have in the past used my extra salt by accident, so that's why I always put it back in the pouch. And the main thing to look out for on Zebak, I find, is just the blood magic. Everything else is pretty simple when it's only leveled up to 1, even with all Limbos on. Just let the shadow do its thing. Easy solve. I mean, this is why you should always take upset stomach. I mean, it's just 3 points. I'm going to turn my prayer off here, just while he's cooling down. I'm going to get this sun fuse so I can sort out my invent. That was a bit squeaky, but we're all good. I haven't learned the wave skip, so you'll never see me do that. I feel like without being able to mark the waves, it's quite tough. And another perfectly easy solve should always take upset stomach. My habit of spawning the Thrall and a Death Charge is wasting so many runes, but I can't break it. If you're fighting Zabak and you're getting shredded by the range attacks hitting at the same time as the blood magic, I would say pray for the range attack. It hits so much harder, and just take the blood barrage. The blood barrage. It's not going to kill you. Alright, now for the room where it all falls to pieces, because this room is a pain on mobile at the best of times, especially with feeling special. Well, actually, it's only because of feeling special. Sometimes you can have a 1 or 2 tick delay and it's just GG. So, whilst recording, I have to be really careful here. I do have 5 memories to cover. If you didn't know, when you're placing a mirror, it will always place whichever way you're facing, which I thought was quite common knowledge, but a lot of people do not seem to know that. For example, another room that they've done a great change to, you don't have to do the tick perfect click on the seal, you can just spam click at 99 mining, or is it 85 now where it's a 1 down? I can't remember. Do I get smacked by the darkness? I do. Yeah. So I'm not going to butterfly because I never learned it. The tile packs in here don't work, as you can see. It shows beneath the floor, and when you have lots on, it's really inconvenient. This has to be in the best place ever. My phone is already tanking hard. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, but we will see. Black, yellow, okay, it wasn't too bad. Do like to avoid wake of that just because I've had the few times, usually when the path is leveled up a bit more, that you just don't get the kill, and it's so frustrating. White, red, black, yellow. This is like the most prayer heavy room for me because I will be using a Keris spec before the end. I do like to save it for as late as possible so that I can carry that overhealing to the pillar and wardens, but it's not always possible. Just gonna wait for this. I don't even know what this is called. The darkness effect to go. And move into this quadrant. Black, red, white, red, black. Nice and easy. The feeling special is something that I refused to learn because I kept getting the timing wrong. But once you get used to it, it's just free. It's just so free. Well, I'll probably make a mistake if I get another one because of the lag. Hopefully not. Didn't get my Keris off. Try and hold it for a little bit longer. Pray preserve when your salt runs out. Obviously don't forget that. If I can get it here, that'd be really nice. But I think we're going to go into Mage Pray. That's fine. And like I was saying earlier, I always keep my camera orientated north, especially here. I find it helps so much because you can really see where these orbs are coming from if you have it on a cardinal direction. He says, and then gets smacked twice. So here I put my last dose of prayer regen, store the blowpipe because I don't need that. And then we claim life. And we're going to get out the adrenaline, the salts, and a brew. And the rest will come in a minute. So I'm going to pop the adrenaline and the salts. Pop a thrall. Dig in. I normally have 118 health for this, but I messed up the act puzzle, so more for me. And if you're really lucky with your specs and your shadow, you can one down this without. You can do this without getting hit by the orbs, which gives you a lot more healing. I'll save the surge pot for P4 wardens, just for an extra void waker spec. It's a bit spooky. I can never remember what it hits on the second one. So here I'm just going to spam my brews until I'm full. And run over to this warden. These two tiles are so great. I never used to use them. Can't recommend them enough. Get a new thrall. Take all the supplies out. Try and get my inventory sorted. we just got range attacks this time. Switch to the melee gear. Stab away. 4, 5, BGS spec, and then to range. Get a range thrown out. Just get rid of this brew while we're still sorted. And this is why these tiles are so OP, because it just deals with every spec from the pillar. So you're essentially just praying against the Dennis at this point. And click. Done. Could not be more simple. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, BGS whack. The reason I spec on the first one is just in case I miss any switches and I end up not doing enough damage. That's the mage throw. And this should just be it. And then we'll BGS spec P4. And I will be score skipping too. I've got quite a lot of prayer left, so I might treat myself to a Keris spec if I get a nice BGS whack. That is fine by me. Now I tend to stand on this row, but at this point it's just preference, I guess. Try and sort my inventory out as this is going. If you're new to score skipping, you can see I have the single tile marked. That's the tile I use. I don't know if you can use the whole row. I assume you can. But for Insanity, I find it really, really beneficial to audibly say where I was. So I was on the left, I was on the left, I was on the left, I was on the left. Because I always forget which side I was going. And I always spam click this. I was on the left, so now I'm in the middle. And you can start at the back just to get an extra tick. Then we go right, and back into the rhythm. Just going to have a Keris spec. Keep them thralls up the whole time. I was on the right, I was on the right, I was on the right. So left. Very straightforward. Wait for his attack, pray, spam click the score. I was on the left. Pretty confident where I am, but it's still nice to just have that bit of time to react. So I was on the right. This one you do have to be a little careful because of the boulders from Baba. I was on the right, so I'm going to the left. I'm pretty confident anyway. I was in the middle. Just going to let a boulder fall, then move. And one more boulder. And then I may be too early here. I don't know. And I've forgotten where I was, so I think I need to be. And that's how wrong it can go. Hilarious. But I do have lots of prayer, so I think I'm going to go for. Actually, no Kara specs. I need my Void Waker specs. I'm just going to Ambrosia. Before I trigger this, I'm going to Adrenaline. Just get ready to dump my Void Waker specs. Pop the Surge Pop. Spec again. Now the most important thing I find in this phase is just not backtracking. Don't step back onto the boulder. There we go. Shadow carries. I hope you enjoyed. Let's see if we get anything. I mean, I was messing around with the recordings there and I still managed to beat the timer by over 2 minutes. That's pretty cozy. I'm not going to milk this, so never lucky. That's like 15 dry or something. Not too bad, but well, into the bank. Right, if you watched, thank you, and goodbye.